A plan to bring kids back to school has been sent to President-elect Joe Biden. How San Diego is involved in that plan? Coming up.
And college classrooms have seen a ton of changes this year, but this one might matter the most. We'll have more in our lead report.
And a popular TV host is leaving late night television. Find out who in entertainment.
And with several cold fronts in our north, will any find their way to our local weather? Jesus has all the details. Newscene starts now. Good evening, I'm Noelle Mortensen. Welcome to this edition of Newscene. We continue to work remotely to bring you the latest news of the week. We start tonight with President Donald Trump announcing plans to bring back thousands of U.S. troops from Iraq and Afghanistan. The drawdown of 2,500 is expected in January and has some military leaders worried. Peace talks with the Taliban appear to have stalled and attacks are on the rise in Afghanistan. Acting Secretary of Defense Chris Miller announced earlier this week that the plan had been discussed over the past several months. And the nation is seeing the worst day of death since the start of the pandemic. Thursday, the daily total of COVID fatalities spiked to an all-time high of nearly 2,000, according to the COVID Tracking Project, making it the deadliest day in the pandemic. The national total has also broken a record, reaching 250,000 COVID-related deaths. The White House's coronavirus task force met this week for the first time in 4 months. In a briefing, Vice President Mike Pence says Americans are experienced enough to know how to bring virus numbers back down.
As we gather today, we are seeing cases and positivity rising across the country. But we approach this moment with the confidence of experience. We know the American people know what to do.
Moving to the financial impact of COVID, time is running out for you if you still haven't received your stimulus check. The IRS has announced the final deadline for claiming your $1,200. Officials estimate 1.2 million people haven't received their checks owed to them, and that just here in California. The problem is the IRS says is many of these people did not file taxes in 2019. And the plan to bring local kids back to school is in the hands of President-elect Joe Biden and his team. San Diego Unified School District Superintendent Cindy Martin shared the details of the reopening plan in her State of the District report this week. Martin's proposal included extensive COVID-19 testing and a request for funds to help families that are struggling financially.
We call it the national response to persevere and to prioritize school recovery with equity and undoing learning loss.
And not only are actual classrooms empty, but virtual ones are getting emptier too. Devon, tell us more.
Thank you, Noelle. And yes, college enrollment is dropping everywhere. We all know that 2020 has been a rough year, and higher education is no exception. In California, community colleges have seen a 9% drop in student enrollments. That's higher than the national decrease estimated at 7.5%. It's especially problematic for people of color, who traditionally use the community college avenue to transfer into bigger schools. Experts say community colleges usually see a rise in enrollment in an economic downturn. Students typically try to increase their skills to gain better jobs, but the pandemic has killed work opportunities for students to help pay their way through school. Students are also grappling with the challenges of online learning. These factors all cause enrollment declines. Students struggling should know there are resources available to help them.
UCs are really stepping up. The CSUs, a lot of our local universities that we have relationships with are stepping up, providing additional resources to UCs that are helping. So there's stuff that we would normally advertise anyway, but during this time, where, the more assistance they can get, the better.
The effects of this will likely be seen for years to come. We'll continue to cover the story. For now, back to you, Noelle.
Now let's take a look at the COVID-19 cases closer to home. This week, San Diego is seeing the highest daily case counts since the pandemic started. We've had 7 consecutive days reaching counts of over 600. As of last night, there are 899 new cases, bringing the total of those confirmed to more than 68,000. The county saw 7 more deaths yesterday, bringing the total deaths to a total of 952. As a result, we will remain in the purple tier for now. And this week, 52 cases and deceased letters were sent to businesses refusing to comply with public health orders. The San Diego Sheriff's Department delivered those letters and announced they will be stepping up enforcement. That includes a new state-issued mask mandate that came earlier in the week and requires Californians to wear a face covering outside their homes, with few exceptions. Also, the governor is issuing a new curfew for California. Non-essential outings will be restricted between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m., starting tomorrow night. The curfew will remain in effect until at least December 21st. So with heavier public health restrictions, the anticipation for a vaccine is growing, but we may not have that much to wait. Pfizer is a partner BioNTech are applying to the FDA today for emergency authorization to distribute their vaccine. Pfizer plans to distribute 50 million doses in the US and abroad starting before the end of this year. Moderna plans to have 20 million doses by the end of 2020. And for more safety measures, the San Diego International Airport plans to provide COVID-19 tests to travelers and employees. Airplanes in San Diego, as well as across the country, are offering tests to passengers headed to destinations like Hawaii and London. Testing costs $170, and results are available the next day. The plan should be in place by 2021. And it seems Mardi Gras will look a lot different in New Orleans in 2021. The city has announced there will be no traditional parade in the spring. Blame COVID-19 for this decision. Visitors can still come to New Orleans and celebrate, but expect masks and social distancing. And Mardi Gras might look different, but Latin music is here to stay. Susana, tell us more.
Yes, Noelle, the 21st annual Latin Grammys were celebrated Thursday in Miami. The big winners of the night were Natalia Lafourcade, Rosalía, and Carlos Vives. But it was the performances that really stole the show. Karol G performed her popular song, Tusa, with her all-women band.
Un shot pa' la pena profunda, y seguimos gastando la punta. Otro shot pa' la mente, pa' que el recuerdo no la atormente.
The legendary Tigres del Norte sang to immigrants, bringing some hope to people, and Bad Bunny brought out a full mom band for his song Y si veo a tu mamá.
Y si veo a tu mamá, yo le pregunto por ti.
And after 28 years, Conan O'Brien is leaving late-night television. It was announced that the show Conan on TBS will end after its 10th season in June. In the beginning of 2021, O'Brien will start a variety series on the HBO Max streaming service. He will also continue working on Conan Without Borders travel specials. So don't worry, Conan fans, you'll still be able to catch him on TV. And someone who has made a lot of us swoon throughout the years has won a prestigious title in pop culture. Michael B. Jordan has been named the sexiest man alive by People magazine. Jordan said he received the news while driving with a friend and felt honored to be part of that list. Besides acting, the 33-year-old has been active in the Black Lives Matter movement. He has also been advocating for early voting registration for this year's election. Other recent winners include John Legend, Dwayne Johnson, and Chris Hemsworth. Congratulations to him. That is all I have for you tonight. Back to you, Noelle.
And one more music superstar got a special shout out from biotech firm Moderna. That's because earlier this year, Dolly Parton donated $1 million to Vanderbilt University Medical Center. And Vanderbilt turned around and partially funded Moderna's experimental vaccine. Dolly didn't find out her donation made a difference until her name was listed in the recent report. Parton said that she was just trying to help out a friend, a doctor who helped her after a 2014 car accident. Fog continues to impact our morning commute, but would we see any significant changes to our weather pattern? Jesus, tell us more.
Thank you. That's right. Let's dive right into weather. But first, happy Friday to you and happy Friday to everyone watching. Here's the deal with our weather headlines. We do have morning fog and evening fog as well. Above average temperatures are expected for this weekend and for parts of next week. And another cool down is expected, but I'll tell you as we go ahead in our forecast. Current conditions for our area, we see that we have those temperatures flirting in the 70s with plenty of sunshine. A few high clouds in our county. We're not expecting any rain. Temperatures in the 70s for the coast. We go further inland. Temperatures are also in the low 70s, 73 to 75 in some areas. And for the deserts, high 70 for today, 78 degrees. Almost flirting with those 80s for today with plenty of sunshine. Now let's take a look at the national forecast. We do have some rain, especially for parts of Florida. Heavy rain is expected. But for the Northeast, we see high pressure. That's fair weather, plenty of sunshine. A little bit on the crisp or cooler side for that part of the country. Let's travel to our west coast where we see some cold fronts to our north. Those cold fronts would not make it to Southern California. It won't agitate our atmosphere, nor would it create any rain. Temperatures will cool down though by the middle part of next week, but we're not anticipating any rain with those cold fronts. Now for tonight, temperatures along the coast will be in the lower 50s. I would say 53 to 54 for San Diego. Now for the inland, temperatures will also be in the lower 50s, and for our mountains, 50s as well. So through our county, we can see those temperatures in the 50s, and along the coast, we can expect some fog as well. Here's our extended forecast for the next 5 days. Expect those temperatures to be slightly above average and then a cool down by middle of next week. That's all with weather. Back to you.
And finally tonight, this year's Rockefeller Christmas tree is reminding all of us the sad-looking tree from A Charlie Brown Christmas. And it's so 2020. The 75-foot Norway spruce arrived in New York City on Saturday for the annual holiday tradition. Many on social media complained it didn't look very full after being lifted onto its spot of honor by a crane. And that's all we have for you tonight. We want to wish all of you a restful Thanksgiving next week. Newscene will be off next Friday, but will return on December 4th. As we sign off, we want to share some amazing news. Our executive producer, Christina Painton, is moving on. She will be the new morning producer for the ABC affiliate in Bryan, Texas. Congratulations, Christina. Until we return, City Times has got you covered, and find it all on sdcitytimes.com. And remember to follow SD City Newscene and SD City Times on Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. Good night.